Hello dear learners, you are most welcome in this section, and here we are going to discuss about electrical wiring. First we'll start with the basic definition of electrical wiring, then wire color codes, then different methods of wiring. Then we'll see the drafting of electrical wiring in AutoCAD. And after electrical wiring, we'll also going to discuss about conduits layout and cable tray layouts also. So first starts with electrical wiring. Now what is an electrical wiring? So the electrical wiring in a building, no matter it is a domestic or a commercial building, means in any building, it may be any building, electrical wiring is the interconnection of various devices to distribute the electrical energy from main distribution board to different types of load. Basically, the wires and cables are used to transmit electrical energy from one point to another point when they are connected in a closed path, and usually this closed path is known as circuit. And the main purpose of transmitting electrical energy is to utilize the energy by different types of load to perform our desired function. Let for an example, fluorescent lamp. Fluorescent lamp is used to convert electrical energy into light energy. Similarly, we have air conditioning systems. These ACs or air conditioning systems are used to maintain the temperature of the room. Okay, so we use the safely designed electrical wiring as an intermediate to transmit electrical energy from one point to another point. And the electrical wiring make possible the desired function performed by the load. Clear? Okay, so this is the electrical wiring. Next, coming to the word circuit. As I told you, transfer of electrical energy or flow of current from one point to another is possible only and only through a closed path. And that closed path is known as circuit. So an electrical circuit is the completely closed path along which an electric current or electrical energy can flow. Here is the simple circuit diagram in which this is the supply terminals from where the electrical energy can be supplied to the circuit. Then this is the single pole circuit breaker. This circuit breaker is used to protect the circuit devices from any abnormal condition. Okay. Then this is the controlling switch. This switch controls the supply of energy to the load. Clear? Then this is the load. Load can be anything that uses electrical energy as an input and convert it into another form of energy. Okay, so these are the connecting wires which are interconnecting all these devices and make it possible to transmit the electrical energy from this point of supply to this load. Let this point of supply is your main distribution board and this is your bedroom lamp. So you can understand it easily. These wires are providing the path for energy supply from MDB, main distribution board, to your bedroom lamp. Clear? Next, come to the conductor, electrical conductors. So the electrical conductor is a material that conducts electricity. Means to transmit the electrical energy through wire or cable, this metallic material is responsible. As this material has the capability of conduct electrical energy, that's why this is known as conductor. Okay. Basically, there are two types of conducting wires are available in a market. One is of solid conductor and one is of stranded conductor. So a solid conductor is a one piece of metal, whereas this stranded conductor is a bunch of many conductors. Okay. So this solid conductor is less flexible than this stranded conductor. Generally, stranded conductor wires are used in wiring system. Okay. Then we can classify the wires as per their conducting materials. Generally, we have many metals that can be used to conduct electricity, but usually copper and aluminium are only used as an electrical conductor, because there are many consideration factors such as weight, cost, efficiency and many other factors also. So in short, copper and aluminium conductors are used to conduct electricity. Clear? Now here we have the terms phase and neutral. In any circuit we have two types of conductors. One is phase conductor and one is neutral. Phase is a conductor which conducts electrical current from supply to the load, whereas the neutral conductor provides a return path for the current. Let for an example, suppose if you are having microwave in your home that takes 5 amperes of current, then the phase conductor will carry this 5 amperes of current from supply or source to the load, and the neutral conductor will carry this same current of 5 amperes back to the source from microwave oven to the source. Okay. But this is the example of single phase system in which neutral is just used to provide a return path for the current. But in another case, let we have three phase system in which 3 conductors are used for phases and 1 conductor is for neutral. So in this 3 phase system, if the load on all 3 phases are balanced, means let's suppose the 3 circuits on separate phases, 3 circuits on separate phases carrying the same amount of electrical current, so in that case neutral will carry 0 amperes of the current. Okay, but if due to any reason this system becomes unbalanced, means one or all circuits carrying different amount of currents, then the neutral conductor will provide the return path for the unbalanced current. Okay, see here, if one circuit carrying 12 amperes of the current and one circuit carrying 8 amperes of the current, when there is an unbalanced condition, okay, then the neutral wire will carry the subtractive result of 12 and 8, which is 4 amperes. Okay, so I hope it is very much clear for you. So this is the introduction part and some basic part. So hope it is clear. Hi dear learners, in the last lecture we have seen some basic terms related to the electrical wiring. Now in this lecture we will discuss about color coding of wires. See, these are the wires in which you can observe that conducting material is same for all these cables, but the only difference in all these wires is the color of their insulations. Okay, now generally in order to differentiate these wires from each other, the insulation is colored. Therefore, with the help of these color codes, we can identify the electrical wires easily as well as safely. These color codes may vary from state to state or from country to country, but there are some standard codes like IEC, International Electrotechnical Committee, NEC, National Electrical Codes, and some others also. But it is very important to know these electrical wiring codes, because if we make a wrong connection of wires, then some serious conditions may occur, like as fire. So it is very important to know about electrical codes. Okay. Now let's come to this first point. If we have a single phase system, then there will be 3 different conductors. Means in a single phase circuit, you will have 3 wires of different colors. One for phase, one for neutral and one for earthing. But unlike single phase circuit, you will find 5 conductors in 3 phase system. 3 of them will be used for 3 phases, one for neutral wire and one for earthing. Here I am presenting color codes for India that follows in our country. In the similar manner, know about your local codes or country codes that follows in your area. So here we have shown 2 color codes, one as per the old color code and one as new. So according to the old standard, this red color wire is used for phase wire, then black for neutral wire, and this green colored wire is used for protective, or you can say earthing wire. And on comparison with old standard or as per the latest standard, the brown color is selected for the phase wire, blue is for neutral wire, and the green color for earthing. Green color for earthing is same as the old standard. Okay, so this is the color coding with respect to the single phase system. So after this come to the 3 phase system. As I have told you that in three-phase system, three wires are used as phase wires. So this red, yellow and blue colors are specified for phase lines, and black is for neutral wire. Okay, and in three-phase system, colors for phase lines and neutral are same as per old standards, means there is no change in three-phase system except the earthing wire. So as per the old standard, the completely green color is used for the earthing wire, but now yellow color is also added with this green color. So as per the new color code, yellow green color is selected for protective wire. Is it clear? So these colors are specified for single phase system and these are specified for three phase system as per the Indian standards. Okay, but remember one point here, as we are discussing only AC system, so in case of DC system, these color codes will be different. Okay, so this is color coding of wires. Hi, welcome in this new topic where we will discuss about wiring system, then consideration factors on selection of wiring system. Then you will be introduced to types of electrical wiring. Okay, so let's start with the electrical wiring system. As we have talked about electrical wiring in the earlier classes, that electrical wiring is the interconnection of wires to distribute electrical energy from MDB to different loads to perform a desired function. Clear? So we have two different methods of distributing electrical energy from MDB, main distribution board, to load, such as T system of wiring and looping system. So first is T system. This T system is also known as jointing system of wiring because connections from the main branch. See here, this is your main line which is coming from main distribution board. So we make the connections directly from this main branch through these jointers to feed our load. Okay, you can see we have connected these wires directly to this main line. Clear? So this is the jointing type wiring system. But nowadays this type of wiring is not in use. But sometimes this T type or jointing type wiring system is used for temporary wiring, because in this wiring system required length of the wire reduces, therefore installation cost reduces as compared to the looping system, but there is not a huge difference in installation cost. Okay, so next coming to the looping system. So in this type of wiring system, phase line or you can say wire, so phase wire is looped in switch boards and this neutral wire always looped in loads. Here you can see this phase wire is looping in these switches, looped here and looped here, and this neutral wire is connected this bulb, and for this load we are looping from this terminal without making any joint in the wire. Okay, so I can say that in this system loads are connected in parallel. Okay, and this looping system is much popular in practice, therefore looping wiring is widely used everywhere. Clear? And in this system, circuit is obtained from board to board, therefore it is much easy to find the fault, which is an advantage of looping wiring system. Okay, but due to looping the devices, the length of the wire increases, so the voltage drop will be more across the line. Okay, so you can consider this point as the disadvantage of looping system. Okay, so these are the two types of wiring system, joint type and looping type. So move to next video. Hello, welcome again. Now in this video we will discuss different methods of wiring. In the last video we have discussed two different types of wiring system, and I told you there joint box wiring system is not in use in present time. Instead, the looping system of wiring is much popular that are using widely. So now here we will see which is the most popular or most suitable method of wiring installation in any building. Basically, there are many types of wiring like cleat wiring, capping wiring, batten wiring or conduit wiring, and some others also we have. But in this class we will discuss only conduit method of wiring installation, which is the most popular in practicing nowadays. Okay, so conduit is like a pipe or a tube. You can see in this picture, these are the electrical conduits, and in this type of wiring, insulated cables or wires are passed through these conduits. Clear? And these conduits acts as an enclosed channels for the wires that are designed especially for holding wires and cables also. Okay, and some of the main advantages of conduit wiring are: this method of conduit wiring is most reliable and safest method among others, and this method is much popular, therefore you can find workers easily for the installation of conduit wiring method. Okay, next is conduit provides protection against mechanical damage, means the risk of damages from any external factor is reduced with the conduit methods. Okay, and it has long working life, maintenance is easy, and if we are using metallic conduits, then in that case the risk of getting electrical shocks will also be very less. Okay, so these are the some common advantages of conduit wiring. But along with these advantages, we have some disadvantages also, like the installation cost of this type of wiring is higher as compared to the others, and to find the fault in concealed conduit wiring is difficult and very time consuming. Okay, so these are the some advantages and disadvantages of conduit wiring. Next we have the two types of conduits based on their manufacturing material. One is PVC type and one is metallic type. So we have two types of conduits, metallic and PVC. Then type of conduits based on the installation requirement, we have rigid type conduits and flexible type. Mostly this rigid type of conduits are used in installation, but in some time or in some places flexibles are also used. So these are the flexible conduits and these are the rigid type conduits. Okay, now after this we have two common types of installation: surface conduit wiring and concealed conduit wiring. In surface type installation, conduits are installed on the surface of the wall or ceiling, whereas concealed type installation, conduits are installed inside the wall by making holes, and this is the most popular, attractive and safe type of installation nowadays. Clear? Then after all, we have to discuss some basic factors that should be considered during the selection of wiring method. So some of the most and essential factors we are going to discuss here. So first one is installation cost. So before selection of any method, compare the initial installation cost with respect to other methods also to satisfy the client's budget. Okay, then we have durability. The wire or cable that you are going to use in the installation must have the ability to bear the atmospheric changing factors like less temperature in cold and high temperature in summer, and the wire should have the capability to carry the full load currents in any atmospheric condition. Okay, next comes to the appearance. So appearance of the installation method, you should have to select the method that looks attractive. So with respect to the appearance point of view, concealed wiring method is most suitable. Then we have the protection, mechanical protection. So you must select that method of wiring which provides good mechanical protection to the wires or cables from any external disturbances. Next we have very important factor that should be considered in every method. So you must have to select that wiring method that has least chance of fire. Okay, so this is the most important factor. Then life, means select the method that has long life. Last is accessibility. It means that method should be selected which is easy to repair or easy to extend if required in future. Okay, so these are the some factors that should be considered, but truly it is not possible to satisfy all these factors with one wiring method. You have to compromise with any of the factors. Clear? Now at last I am adding one very small topic to which I think is important to know about: the letters on the wire. On wire insulation, you will find some letters to be printed like as THHN, THWN and THW. So these letters are representing type of the insulations, and as per the NEC, these letters are stands for: H stands for heat resistance, double H stands for high heat resistance. This type of insulation can resist the temperature up to 90 degrees Celsius. Okay. Then N stands for nylon coating for resistance to damage. Clear? Then T for thermoplastic insulation. Again we have W represents wet location suitability of the wire. Then X, which means flame resistant synthetic polymer coating. Okay, so this is the letters of the wire. Hello dear learners, how are you? Hope you are enjoying the classes that you are taking with me. So if you have any query or any suggestion for me, so you are most welcome on the discussion panel. Okay, so let's move to the drafting part of the wiring. This is the very easy part of the course. In this video you will learn how to develop electrical wiring layout, and along with this I will also show you how you can be able to create conduit layouts and cable tray layouts. Because in most of the multiplex buildings and in commercial building, cable tray layout becomes a very essential part of the building plan. Okay, so let's begin with the wiring layout. Open the lighting and power layout in AutoCAD and open the load balancing sheet also. As we have discussed earlier, electrical layouts are the pictorial representation of different components or devices of the electrical system. Similarly, in the wiring layout, we are going to represent the circuits, means which circuit is feeding your load, which switchboard controlling fans or lighting fixtures. Okay, and one very important point should be noted here: you can be able to work with wiring layout once when you are having load balancing sheet or load scheduling sheet. Clear? Now to clear the concept, let's suppose this is one flat of our multiplex building and this is the SLD that we have discussed in the SLD session. Here I am assuming this is the complete SLD of our multiplex building with the total connected load of 670 kilowatts at MDB, and this MDB is supplying the power to these SMDBs, sub-main distribution boards, and these SMDBs are connected one at each floor or installed at each floor. This SMDB at first floor, this is at second floor, this is at third floor, this is at fourth floor, and like this we have. Okay, now after this SMDB we have distribution boards. That means this one SMDB which is installed at ground floor supplying the electrical power to these 5 distribution boards. These are my 5 distribution boards to which this one SMDB distributing the power. Clear? Then finally we have distribution boards 1 dB installed, one for each flat in my building. Means at ground floor we have 5 flats, so these 5 dBs distribution boards distribute or supplying the power in each flat. Okay, is it clear? So this dB you will find in each flat. Now see, in this layout, this distribution board is installed at the entrance wall of the house that will further distribute the electrical power to each outlet in my home, in my flat. Okay, for more understanding, see, this is the 3-phase distribution board. This is R phase, this is Y phase and this is B phase, and I am assuming this as the neutral link because the neutral link is not showing in this image. Okay, this is a neutral link. Then the main neutral wire after this isolator will be connected here to this link, and from this link all the neutral wire will be taken for all the circuits. Okay, see here, this cable is coming from SMDB and connected to this isolator, and then this R phase conductor will be connected to this R phase circuit breakers, this Y phase conductor to this Y phase circuit breakers, and this B phase to this B phase circuit breakers. and this neutral connected to this neutral link. Okay. Now after this, come here and you can see this fan, tube light, CFL and this switch are connected to R2 circuit. Okay. So if you understand this, how the circuit can be taken from the DB distribution board, then rest of the picture will be very clear for you. Okay. Now take the phase wire from R2 circuit breaker and one neutral wire from this link and connect these wires to this fan, connect these wires to tube light and connect these wires to this CFL. And see here, all these connections are made in parallel connection to maintain the voltage level. Okay, so in this way we make a circuit from distribution board to electrical devices. Okay, so this was only for your understanding how we make circuit from DB to load. Okay, because in the wiring layout you will not find any complete path of the circuit, means we will not draw the complete path of the circuit from the DB to the device or the outlets. Instead of this, we will only show in the layout which device or which layout is feeding by which circuit and which switch is controlling the device. Okay, so this is the basic about electrical circuit. Now move to next video. Welcome dear learners. In this video we are going to explain lighting control wiring layouts, and this concept will be very clear for you once you have cleared with the load balancing concept or load scheduling concept. In the load balancing concept, we distribute the total load on all the three phases equally in order to balance the electrical system. Okay, so here we have this load balancing sheet for lighting load, in which you can see that here we have all the lighting loads, this fluorescent lamps, CFLs, ceiling fan, exhaust fan and normal sockets. This 2 number of fluorescent lamps, 1 number of ceiling fan and 2 normal socket of bedroom 1 are connected in this R1 circuit. Okay, so these 5 points of bedroom 1 are feeding through R1 circuit. Similarly, 1 CFL and 1 exhaust fan of bathroom 1 are connected in R1 circuit. Then 3 numbers of fluorescent lamps, 1 normal socket of living room are also connected in R1 circuit. Means all these loads of bedroom, bathroom and living room are feeding through R1 circuit. And for R1 we are having 10 amperes of circuit breaker. Now see in this image, this MCB will be of 10 amperes, and from this circuit breaker, from this breaker up to the load we pull the wire of 2.5 square mm. Clear? Now come to your lighting plan. See in this bedroom, this luminary and this fan of this room are feeding through R1 circuit. So for the controlling purpose, copy the switchboard from Legends and paste here. And draw the controlling wire. But before that, create 3 new layers, one for R phase wire, one for Y phase and one for B phase wire. So LA enter, create new layer, R phase. Then select color red. Now come to the line type, click on continuous. I want to represent wire through dashes line, and I am doing this only to make the clear difference among all different lines in my layout that I am using. Means I want wires should be readable and highlighted clearly. Okay, so click on load and select the line and OK. Similarly go for Y phase and B phases. Now enable for the R phase and close the window. Now see here, I want to control this fluorescent lamp from this switchboard. So to highlight the connection, take arc A, enter, then join this light to this board. Similarly, this light and this fan also controlling through this switchboard. So again, okay. So for this bedroom, these fluorescent lamps and this fan are controlling through this switchboard. And from where we are getting power in this switchboard? We are getting power from R1 circuit. So right here, MLD, enter, then write the circuit name. Okay, so this is for bedroom 1. Then again under R1 circuit, next we have two points, CFL and exhaust fan. So in this bathroom, take the switchboard here. And make the connections. Again write the name. Okay, so this is for bathroom. Next to the bathroom, we have the living room. And from load balancing report, in this living room, these 3 fluorescent lamps are also feeding through R1 circuit. Therefore, I am placing one switchboard here and making the connections. Now we have covered all the lighting loads for our circuit R1. 2 fluorescent lamps and 1 ceiling fan of this bedroom, 1 CFL and 1 exhaust fan of this bathroom, and 3 fluorescent lamps of the living room. Now after this come to the Y1 circuit, and in this circuit we have 2 ceiling fans of the living room, 2 fluorescent lamps and 1 exhaust fans of kitchen and 1 ceiling fan of bedroom. So start with the living room. Place the switchboard here and draw wires. Then come to the kitchen area. So 2 fluorescent lamps and 1 exhaust fan are feeding through Y1 circuit. Therefore, come here. This is the kitchen area. Now place one switchboard here. And draw the wires. Then write the circuit name from which we are getting power in this board. Similarly, go for the remaining area. Okay, so this is the way to represent lighting control wiring. And apart from this lighting load, we are also considering normal sockets. See in this sheet, two normal sockets of bedroom, one for bathroom and one for living room are connected in R1 circuit. So come to your AutoCAD 10 and write the circuit name for normal sockets. So here we have completed our task with respect to lighting load. This is the lighting wiring layout in which all the fluorescent lamps, CFLs, fans, exhaust fans and normal sockets are shown, from which switch they are controlling and from which circuit they are getting electrical power. Clear? Hope this is clear for you. Next we are coming for raw power layout. See in this plan, we have distributed all the power outlets in this house as per the load balancing sheet. One power socket is provided in this bedroom, one in bathroom, two in living room, then three in kitchen. Similarly, one in this bedroom, one in this bathroom and one power socket is given in this dining room area. Okay. Now write the name for these outlets from which circuit they are getting electrical supply. So open your overall load balancing sheet. Now see here, up to this R2 circuit we have discussed in lighting layout. Dear learners, this is the overall load balancing sheet in which you will find complete load of your building, means your lighting load, power load, AC load and so on. But for lighting load we have one separate sheet. Okay. Now here come to Y2 circuit in which total 5 numbers of power outlets are connected in Y2 circuit. And these total 5 outlets are of bedroom 1, bathroom, living room and kitchen. Okay, so see in this plan, this one power socket of bedroom, one of this bathroom, two of living room and one of kitchen are for Y2 circuit breaker. Okay, so write the name. Similarly, we have B2 circuit in which again we have 5 numbers of power outlets of kitchen, bedroom, bathroom and dining room area. So these two of kitchen, one of this bedroom, one of this bathroom and one of this dining room area are connected, are getting the supply from B2 circuit. Okay, so write the circuit name. Clear? So this is the way of draw wiring layout. Okay. Next coming to the conduits layout. Hello dear learners, welcome again. In this video you will see the conduit layout. So for lighting and power load, usually we use conduits from distribution board to every outlet and through which we pull the wire from DV to the outlet point. Now let's start with this plan. Here we have placed all the fixtures, means fluorescent lamps, CFL, ceiling fans, exhaust fans and all are placed here. Okay. Now note one point. In this plan we are taking one main conduit that will go from this front side of the building to the end of this building. And from this main conduit, we will take the branches and sub branches of the conduit to interconnect all these fixtures. Okay. So draw the main branch from this DB. But for simplicity, I am moving this DB to this wall, because now I can draw the main branch in the middle of this ceiling. Okay. So draw the branch. And for this I am creating new layer, LA, enter. Then this layer manager will open for you. Therefore create new layer. Type the name lighting conduit. Then select the color. So write down some color standards or color codes that are used in practice. So brown color conduits are used for lighting loads. Then black colored conduits are used for raw power loads or AC loads. Green for UPS, red for fire alarm system, and blue for extra low voltage services like a CCTV and PA system. Okay. But generally you cannot be able to find these different color conduits in market, and these cannot be found easily. So you can use color tape on each end of each conduit. And why these different colors are used for conduits? It is because we need some means of conduits identification for each of the services inside the building. Like if you are working in any commercial building where you are having many services of electrical, mechanicals and others also, nearly impossible to know which conduit is for what. And similarly during maintenance, it is not easy to identify a specific conduit, and insufficient identification can lead to some serious accidents also. Okay, so due to this purpose we have color codes. So for lighting load, select brown color. Then enable the layer and close the window. Now draw the main branch by taking polyline of the appropriate thickness. Okay, so PL, enter. Specify the starting point. Let from this DB and mention the width of polyline. Then draw up to the end. So this is the main branch of this plan. So all the circuit wires will be passing through this conduit. Therefore you can take the size of this conduit as 38 mm or 50 mm. But sometimes structural engineer will not allow you for 50 mm because of the ceiling thickness. So in that case you may go with the 38 mm. Okay. Now take the sub branches from this branch for all the rooms. But remember one point here, as a professional engineer you have to take branches absolutely vertical or absolutely horizontal with respect to this main branch. If you are taking the sub branch horizontally from here, then this sub branch conduit should be at 90 degree with respect to this. Or in another case, if you are taking vertically, so in that case that conduit should be at 0 degree with respect to this. Okay. As a professional engineer you should not go with the diagonal branches. Okay, but you also know that in practice many times diagonal branches are also taken. This is doing to reduce the wire length. Okay, to reduce the wire length only. Okay, but as a professional engineer, go either with absolutely vertical or absolutely horizontal. Clear? Now draw the sub branches. Okay, so here we have completed with the conduit layouts for lighting load. Hope it is clear for you. Welcome again. Now I am coming with this new chapter, nothing but cable tray. So talking about cable tray, but remember one point here, calculation is very easy and very simple for cable tray. But as installation point of view, it is very difficult, I can say. And coordination is very challenging task with respect to cable tray. Okay, calculation is very easy, not to worry about calculation. It is not a big science behind the calculation. But with respect to installation, we have to coordinate with all the other services like as mechanical services, plumbing services or firefighting services, telecommunication services. So for installation point of view, we have to coordinate with all these services. Clear? So what is cable tray? According to NEC standard, a cable tray is a unit or assembly of units and associated fittings which forms a rigid structural system that is used to support cables and raceways. Okay, in simple words, I can say that cable trays are components of support systems for cables and wires. Okay, so in the electrical wiring of a building, a cable tray system is used to support insulated electrical cables. Note this point here. We use cable tray only for the insulated cables. We cannot use uninsulated cables here. Okay, so it is used for power distribution cables, control systems cable and communication cables. But generally with respect to control and communication, we don't go with the cable tray. We go with trunks. But sometimes we go with cable tray also. But should use separate cable tray for power cables and separate for control and communication cables. Otherwise interference problem will occur there. Okay. So cable trays are used as an alternative to open wiring or electrical conduit systems. Okay. So when you don't go with the conduit system or you are not want to use concealed wiring, so we go with the cable tray. And on the cable tray, we are going to place conduits and through those conduits, we pass the cables. Clear? So cable trays are commonly used for cable management in commercial and industrial constructions and which can be done very effectively and very easily because generally in commercial buildings as well as in industries, we can find the renovations or refurbishing as well as. Okay, so due to which some load may increase. So in this condition, cable sizes may also be required to upgrade. So I can say cable management can be done very effectively when wiring system exposed, not concealed. Clear? So next is cable tray wiring systems are the preferred wiring system. That is, we prefer cable tray system over conduit wiring system when both these systems are equivalent in terms of safety, reliability and cost. Okay, when both these systems are equivalent in these three conditions, safety, reliability and cost, so we prefer cable tray wiring system. So these are the some basic introduction points. Next is cable tray materials. Material that are used for cable trays. So generally, material selection for the cable tray is based on the purpose. That is, for what purpose we are providing cable tray. So common cable trays are made up of aluminium, galvanized steel and stainless steel. So these are the three basic materials that we have. So aluminium trays are light in weight and has good high strength to weight ratio. So it can be used where light weight and good mechanical strength is required. Okay. Whereas stainless steel trays has high mechanical strength, but these trays are more expensive. So generally we go with galvanized steel because it gives mechanical strength and it is less expensive. But it has heavy weight and rust problem, so which are considering factors. Okay. So as per the site requirement, we have to choose our cable tray. Okay, so this is the introduction of cable tray. Again, in the last class we have seen introduction part with respect to cable tray. Next we are coming with the types of cable trays. So types of cable tray. So there are several types of cable trays available in market, but here we are discussing only the most popular cable trays, like as we have ladder type cable tray, perforated type cable tray, solid bottom type cable tray, and wire mesh. So there are, we have 4 most popular cable trays in market. So as an engineer we have to choose the type of cable tray based on the site situation and the environment. Clear? But I can say that this ladder type and perforated cable tray are the most popular in low voltage designing. So here we have to discuss each one by one. First is ladder type cable tray, and here is an image of ladder type cable tray. These types of cable tray has these 2 side rails. These are the side rails connected by these rungs. Okay, these are the rungs, and these rungs provided convenient anchors for tying down the cables in the non-horizontal cable tray runs. But not only in non-horizontal position, it also provides convenient anchors for tying down the cables where cable position have to maintain in horizontal position. Like in this picture you can see cables are tying down in horizontal position. Where now come to these points. Generally ladder cable trays are used for long support span, that is 12 to 30 feet. Okay, 30 feet of span. So we are having a span for this much amount of distance, we go with ladder type. This is the first condition. Next you can see this type of cable tray is most used type of cable tray in market, that is ladder cable tray you will find in 75% of the project, because there are many reasons for high demand in the market. Like this type of cable tray is available without cover, that is there is no cover on the top side and no cover on the bottom side. So because of which it allows free flow of air through it, because we have to maintain temperature. So it will allows the heat produced in the cable's conductor to exist. Okay. So as there is no cover on it and it is totally exposed, so therefore the rate of heat dissipation is high here. So due to this reason the conductor life will also be more, as well as the insulation life will also increase. So for that reason many of the consultants use this ladder type cable tray. Like 75% of the projects consultant go with the ladder type cable tray. And ladder type cable tray is also recommended for that area where we have dust problems. So this is the ladder type cable tray. Next, talking about the perforated type cable tray. So this is perforated type cable tray. These types of tray consist holes on the bottom sheet and holes on the side rails. So these holes provide enough ventilation for cables and are used for tie downs the cable. Like in this picture, these holes are used to tie the cables, and because of making these holes, overall weight of the cable tray reduced. Okay, so these types of cable trays are used for heat generating electrical or telecommunication applications, for the lighting load. Okay, for the raw power load we are going to use this cable tray with intermediate support spans of 5 to 12 feet. For small span we use these types of tray, and the main reason to select these tray is the concern of electromagnetic interference. So with respect to cable, we have a concept called as electromagnetic interference, that is radiations from the cable will be released. Okay, so these trays provide a shielding protection for low voltage circuit. Clear? But the disadvantage with these types of trays are moisture and dust can build up easily. As we are installing this cable tray under the false ceiling or in outdoor area somewhere, so chances of dust layer formation is high. In this condition, there is a chance of dust layer formation is high. So like these areas, we go for the ladder type cable tray because there is no chance of dust layer formation. Okay, that is also one reason to use ladder type cable tray. But these cable trays are especially used to overcome sag. These perforated cable trays are especially used to overcome sag. Clear? It means perforated cable trays are used for small size cables, so sag may not come into picture. See, if you are using ladder type cable tray to pass 2.5 or 4 square mm of the cable, so what will happen? Then you will getting a sag because 2.5 or 4 square mm of the cables are very much flexible. So to overcome of the sag, we also use this cable tray. Okay, I hope it is very much clear for you. Next, coming for the solid bottom type cable tray. This is also used for the small spans like as perforated cable trays. Okay, and similar as perforated, solid bottom is also mainly used for the protection from electromagnetic interference, which is also called radio frequency interference. Clear? It is mainly used for electromagnetic interference. But solid bottom provides a good degree of shielding. If there are no breaks or holes in the completed installation, so it will provide you good degree of shielding. Clear? So as compared to perforated type, it provides better shielding against electromagnetic interference. So this is the solid bottom type cable tray. Now after the solid bottom cable tray, next we have wire mesh cable tray. And this cable tray also called basket cable tray because it looks like the basket. These cable trays are made of stainless steel wires, and mainly these trays are used for low voltage systems like telecommunication and fiber optic cables. Clear? To pass the fiber optic cables and telecommunication cables. So these are the 4 types of cable trays that we have discussed here. Now finally we are coming for cable tray layout. In the last lecture we have discussed about cable trays. What are cable trays, what are the purpose of cable trays and types of cable tray. Then in this lecture we will discuss how to draw cable trays for any plan. Like for an example, here we are having this power and conduit layout. This is one of my last projects, so the same I am explaining to you. In this layout we are showing power outlets. Some are raw power, some are AC power outlets and some are UPS power outlets. So these symbols are representing power outlets. These lines are representing conduits and this is your cable tray. Now see here, we are having raw power dB in this electrical room. So to feed the total number of outlets, we pull the circuit wires from electrical room to each outlet, and these wires are passing through conduits. So you can see in this plan we have many power outlets. Therefore, for these power outlets we require 12 to 15 number of conduits of 25 mm. Now ask yourself, how these 12 number of conduits or 50 number of conduits can be installed on this ceiling? So to carry these conduits we are installing cable tray in this plan. Okay. So to carry these conduits we are installing cable trays. Okay. So all the conduits will run through these cable trays. Clear? Hope this is clear for you why we are using cable trays. See in this image, this is that cable tray after installation about which we are talking in our AutoCAD plan. This image was taken by me because I was the project management consultant on this project in 2019. Okay, So in this project we were using cable trays for mainly three purposes. One for raw power conduits, one for CCTV conduits, and one for AC units. Means for drain pipes, copper tubes, and for their cables also. Okay. And many times cable trays are also used to carry cables for one place to another place of a building. So this is all about cable trays. And you can draw your cable tray plans as per your requirements. Clear? And at last, let's see how to draw this cable tray. It is very easy and very simple. Take rectangle, then hatch pattern. Let's use this one and set the scale. Now see preview. If you want this, then okay. Otherwise go with the different scaling factor. Clear? Now finally I am explaining one very important point here. Like when you are drafting the cable tray route, so be very careful. Be very careful because there should not be any other services come in the way of our cable tray. Okay, so to avoid this to be happen, before finalizing your route, coordinate with the other services also. Let's see here, service coordination layout, in which we have copied all the services in one layout. Here we have raw power cable tray, CCTV and data cable tray, and this AC cable trays. And along with these, we are also having lighting layout, smoke detectors and sprinklers are also shown here. Now it is very easy for me to select route for my cable trays. Okay. So this is the way to work with cable trays. Hope this is clear for you. And thanks for watching.